The Manufacturer Podcast. Lights, camera, bash! Day one at the UK's best manufacturing trade show, a festival of the greatest industry minds, technology, innovations, earth-shatteringly insightful keynotes and solution theatres and summits, and all four editorials here to talk you through it. It's Showtime, it's Manufacturing and Engineering Week, and it's live! Hello, here we are, live at the show floor, and for the first time ever, well, not quite live, because I'm going to have to edit this, but nearly live.
I don't know that.
Well, come on, let's be transparent about it.
All
right. But for the first time ever, a podcast, the four of us, in person. I mean, how good is that? Give me a bash to the camera. Go on, do it. Bash. Oh, man. So we're here, guys, after lots of hard work and all that jazz.
It always seems a bit surreal, doesn't it? The build up so long, and then all of a sudden it's here, and you're in it, and you're doing it. It always seems a bit. Oh, okay, it's on.
Yeah, man.
It's on. We're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's knackered, right?
Yeah.
Try and give the viewer today.
The viewer today, yeah.
Try and give him some energy, chaps, eh? Try and give him some energy. Although
I know that's aimed at me.
I was going to say this leads me on to question time to kick us off. Why are we so tired, particularly you? This morning, today, now?
Well, because the beeping, and you heard it as well, didn't you?
A bit.
The beeping last night in the hotel started 4 in the morning. Also involved lots of shouting from parking attendants.
We're staying at the Ibis, by the way.
Right by Birmingham Airport.
The Ibis.
So it's great. But yeah, that kept me up, and then I couldn't get back to sleep. And
woke me up, kept me up.
You can never sleep that well when you're away, and like you just can't fall asleep because you're worried that you're going to miss your alarm. So. And
it also presumably this morning ate into what we found out yesterday is your 10-step skin routine.
As many as 10.
The 10 steps. Then we've got the makeup. Then we've got the hair, and also getting dressed.
Jeez.
And I rolled. And your routine in the mornings is
just one step, get out of bed. I'm usually dressed still from the night before, so.
Right, question for Joe. While we're on question time, right?
Yes,
we were told to wear comfortable footwear, right, for this event.
Yeah.
Show the listener your.
I'm not sure how high I'm going to have to raise my leg to get this on camera, but.
Look at that!
Wow.
They can't be comfortable.
They are very, very comfortable.
Well, actually,
and I'm going to do another shameless plug. Shoe Embassy in Greenwich. If you feel like giving me a free pair of shoes for that shameless plug, let me know.
Did they come with a Wendy house?
Well, they do come from the women's section of their website.
Yeah,
right,
okay. So presumably you've got rather small feet?
What are you saying?
Nothing.
What size feet have you got?
I have size 7 feet.
That's all right.
That's not that small.
I was going to say,
it's lower than average, isn't it?
Yeah, but for like, you're quite short, right? So size 7's.
Thank you.
Like
I
my
suppose they would look a bit weird if I had like size 11 feet.
Yeah,
I'd look like a clown.
But that goes against everything I've ever learned, because hobbits have got massive feet.
Yes. And very hairy.
Yeah.
This is bringing up all kinds of childhood bullying memories for me. Hobbits and hobbit feet.
You used to go to school with no shoes.
All right, I've got a question for James now, listener. I get the feeling we're at a pretty secure event, right? But I mean, if there was one thing concerning you with regards to the safety of this event, what could that be? What could potentially disrupt this event, do you think?
I think probably the thing that would mar it most for me.
There is context to this, listener, I promise.
I think the thing that would mar it most for me would be a marauding terrorist weapons attack. I think I put a damper on it for me.
As dark as that sounds, we are actually referencing something.
For a little bit of context here, we had our health and safety briefing yesterday, and I was reading the paperwork that came with the briefing, and
I just get this little nudge.
Yeah, and
from you.
Yes, and it was like looking down lift with a straight back, wear steel toe cap shoes if you're wandering around, and then it was like, be aware of marauding terrorist weapons attacks, and I was just like, okay. They didn't really go through that in the brief
it's the
too
word
much.
marauding. It just like I just got imagining this like band of Vikings coming
And
flying
not
through
just,
the
not just the word marauding, Joe. Not just the word marauding. The fact they had to add in weapons. Like, why couldn't it just be like terrorist attack?
Yeah, I'm guessing they're not going to be doing it with a feather duster.
Weapons attack.
Yeah.
What I don't get is there was nothing mentioned in the actual briefing
they
about it.
They didn't even mention it.
It was written in capital letters in the corner of this.
So the whole time I'm wandering around, looking out for marauding terrorist weapons attacks, and wondering what to do in the event of one.
On the other side of the coin, the more we've been saying it, the more I think it's a great name for a band. Marauding terrorist weapons attack. Yeah.
One more kind of last point on that. What the hell are you meant to do anyway in that scenario?
Don't know.
You're going to get overwhelmed, aren't you?
If it's marauding, yeah. If it was just a terrorist weapons attack, you could probably deal with it. But if it's marauding, you're stuffed.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke a few weeks ago about being overwhelmed by chickens, the chicken pox thing. And I think I could punch a few chickens before I got overwhelmed. But
marauding terrorist attack weapons.
I'm probably going to go down on that one.
Yeah.
There is so much on offer at this show this year, not least for diverse and innovative technology solution providers that are here on the show floor. Some big hitters, you'll probably recognise some names, but also we've got some incredible startup companies on the Made Smarter Innovation Alley. I spoke to a few of them earlier, so let's take a look at them, shall we?
We're working with AI solutions, machine learning, to recognise changes in behaviour of production machinery, the environment, the atmospherics, any change in normal behaviour. We can spot this, reported via an API, via an alert system, and then we have a system that runs on-site and off-site.
FC Labs is a wearable neurotech company. We're based in Scotland, and what we do is build simple, affordable tools to help people understand what's going on in their heads. So our first product is called Cortec, which you see behind me on the side of the bump cap and the hard hat there. So what we're doing is looking at the prefrontal cortex area of the brain and tracking fluctuations in cognitive performance and ultimately risk of error. So when people are more at risk of making a mistake, they're more at risk of accident, injury, fatality, unfortunately, in these high-risk environments.
There are many methods of lubricating chain, and most of those methods are what I can say low quality, where you can drip the oil onto the chain, you can brush the oil onto the chain. It's really to apply a very small amount of oil onto the chain link and pin itself. So what we're doing is we're supplying a very, very tiny amount of oil where it's needed, exactly at the right time. So we're reducing the lubricant consumption by quite a way.
We integrate data from different platforms, whether they're cloud platforms, on-premise platforms, and even machines that the best they can do is send a spreadsheet every few minutes. So we integrate that data into a centralized database, and then clients can either connect their BI tools or they can use our system to provide live visualization.
We're seeing the word AI mentioned all over the place. 12 months ago, you wouldn't have seen it, there were very few around. We've come from an AI background, and we're moving into manufacturing. So we're not a typical manufacturing business trying to add AI to our solutions. We've got AI solutions, be it a visual system, be it a pattern recognition system, and we're applying it for what we see is a very problematic area in manufacturing where they're not using the data that's being captured at the moment.
The first 5 years, really, our focus will be on worker well-being, worker health and safety. So really just building on Cortec. After that, we plan to use the technology to address all kinds of problems, of which there are many. On our short list at the minute would be getting more into the medtech world, into healthcare. So using this technology, the science suggests that we will be able to provide a very simple, accessible, low-cost early prediction of epileptic seizures, for example, which is a huge problem. So there's all sorts of ways this could develop. It really is transformative technology for the next phase in human performance and health, really.
Guys, give me something. Give me one thing that you're looking forward to most at this event this year, within the whole week.
Well, for me, because I'm hosting it, it's got to be the top 100. 10 years this year. Why are you shaking your head at me?
You stole my favourite.
Well, I was always
thing.
going to say the top 100, wasn't I?
Yeah, to be
Well,
fair.
I'm going to say it as well.
Well, you're going to have to say something different.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
You have to be a bit flexible, Deamer.
Yeah, top 100, 10 years of the top 100 this year, so exciting stuff. Looking forward to what's going to be a packed event this evening, and looking forward to a celebration, yeah.
Nice. Well, think of something else. I'll give you some time. JD?
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the stands mainly. I've got a thing for technology and innovation. So a lot of our partners, people like MHP, RS, and then obviously the MTC.
That's my one. I told you about this earlier.
You know how I feel.
Well, no, just to follow on from that. No. That's fine. Just to follow on from that, we are actually going to get the chance to go around a bit this year, because I feel like we didn't really get the opportunity last year. I mean, we didn't even get the chance to do this last year, a little podcast from a manufacturer's studio. So yeah, and as we've just seen from the little walk around that I did earlier, there are a huge array of exhibitors and solution providers. I mean, it is crazy, and you can get some incredible insights from these guys as well, because they're speaking to so many manufacturers. So yeah, I'm same as you. Yeah, getting around the stands and
also
meeting
obviously
people.
I'm also looking forward to a doner kebab about 4:30 a.m. later tonight. We've still got to figure out how we're going to engineer that.
Well, no, I'm on it.
Yeah.
If anyone listened to the previous episode of the podcast, we did. I mean, I did do some market research, right?
Yeah, you went in depth. Yeah,
This
isn't just picking a name out of a hat tonight.
There are what was
Big
it?
John's.
Big John's.
Yeah,
Big John's.
Big John's, the chippy that does kebabs.
Yeah, I mean, even if it has to involve a train and an Uber
Or a
and
monorail.
taxi or a monorail,
Monorail.
Even a plane for like a £10 kebab, then that's fine.
It's happening.
Fine.
Go on, Ed, have you thought of something else that you're looking
You've
for?
got the panel tomorrow.
Yes.
yeah.
Of course, I've got the panel, but I am very excited for Top 100 as well. But I'm also excited for the Institute for Manufacturing panel discussion happening tomorrow morning, I believe, which is all about gender diversity in the sector. It's got some really good panelists, and last year it was really good. They ran a similar one. I had to say some opening words, and I'm very happy that I'm not doing that again.
You did really well
this
last year.
You didn't even go.
I did. I was there actually.
I was
beg your
hovering in the
pardon.
background.
He was booing from the back.
Yeah.
That rock tomato got thrown. That was James.
I was heckling you.
Well, that's obviously why they didn't invite me back this year.
I was throwing toffee crisps at you from the back of the room. Miniature ones. Wouldn't waste a big one.
So you're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and they've got quite a lot of other women in manufacturing activities going on across the 2 days. So
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that this year, isn't there?
Yes.
Which is good to see. Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. And actually, despite the fact that it is bigger and better than Digital Manufacturing Week last year, so far, fingers crossed and touch wood, it's not been as stressful.
No.
I mean, we're only not even halfway through day one yet, but it's going fairly...
Let's not speak too soon, but yeah.
Yeah, let's not speak too soon, but we've
still
got a lot
to get
less.
through tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I think it's because we know we don't have like the TMMX Awards coming up and Manufacturing Leader Summit.
Yeah.
So those two things, which are massive events in themselves, the fact that we know that they're not coming up tomorrow
feels a little bit more manageable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's take another look at some of the fantastic show content that we've got this year. We are truly lucky to have some of the best minds in UK manufacturing under this roof this week. So let's hear some of their insights.
I remember even 10 years ago, net zero truthfully wasn't the top board level agenda item, and I do think it has finally moved there. And of course, what helped move it there is the fact that energy costs have risen so high. So the reason why I have confidence is that, we're all seeing 2030 staring in our face, and it really is just down the road. And B, actually, for our survival, we have to get our energy costs down, and to do that in more renewable ways is the only sensible way to do it.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned 2030, not far away, as you say, just down the road. Where are we? Are we on track Could we do more? How do we do more?
Well, on this one, I think I'll have to be a little bit more downbeat. I think you'd be bold to say that we're on track. I think we're going to get closer and closer to 2030 and see the pressure ramping up. And look, everybody's got their bit to play in. There's, supply chains, government need to help with the right policies. But look, I think we as manufacturers have now really got to use the next few years. There's lots of technology out there that we can implement, and I think this is the time. There's no complacency here.
Absolutely,
we've just got to make it happen.
Yeah.
The Women in Manufacturing initiative was first started by the wonderful Abby Hurd, who worked at Innovate UK KTN, and I only joined a year ago, and I really want to get it started and launched again. So I'm working really closely with the Institute for Manufacturing at University of Cambridge, and within our Made Smarter Innovation Challenge programme, we've got Interact, which is a great research centre, and they're really focused on the social science side and the people side of actually digital adoption within manufacturing. So, and we're looking at those barriers of women entering manufacturing anyway, and actually about the digital side of how that could possibly help improve the situation. So the Women in Manufacturing initiative, we're going to relaunch it in the autumn with an event for industry, and it's not just exclusive to women, men are welcome as well. So yesterday was about actually gathering, insight and information from everyone in industry to kind of say, what would you want from the Women in Manufacturing initiative? It is an open forum to kind of get feedback from industry going, what do we need to do? But what we want it to be is a real network, so an online community as well as a physical community that can meet up a few times a year, help lift up women to kind of support them with jobs or promotions or opportunities, lift them up in terms of what they're doing. So women aren't as strong as men as promoting what we do. I think we need to recognise that and kind of actually help each other to kind of promote what each other does and make sure we showcase what we all do in our experience and talents and our skills, but also just provide that supportive environment as well. So the IFM have done a survey recently, and we had 60 respondents, and the biggest barrier they said for women people have said that for women getting into manufacturing is they don't feel like there's an inclusive work environment, and it was 70% that said that, which is still quite shocking today. It's quite a high number. And they said how that could be changed is through more networking events for women.
We have a shortage of people. We have in manufacturing, we have a shortage of good skills. We need to make sure that we utilise the resources we've got effectively, so the people and the skills are utilised doing things where they're really adding value to the product. And for all those mundane, repetitive, dirty, dangerous kind of tasks, we should be looking at automating those so that, as I said, the people are focused on where they can really add value.
Digital twins themselves, how are they, or how is the technology maturing? How is it being used, and where is it being used? And is deployment getting more widespread? Are we seeing a lot more of it?
Yeah, so I think digital twins are maturing at a really fast pace, mainly because the enabling technologies are really advancing. So things like IoT, big data platforms, the use of analytics allows us to collect more data about the assets themselves and analyse that and put it into the appropriate context, which allows us to make much, much better decisions on not just the assets that we support as a business, but when we look at our whole infrastructure, our supply chain, it allows us to make much more better decisions and start to model our business so that we can optimise our services and our proposition.
How are Babcock using digital twins?
We utilise them to understand the assets that we support, but also start to digital twin our own infrastructure and enterprises so that we can plan our maintenance and manage our resources most effectively. We're also looking to work in partnership with our customers so we can understand the broader digital ecosystem that we play a part in as part of the defence domain or the emergency services domain, which allows us to be much more responsive to our customer needs, much more agile and flexible in the way that we operate.
How do you think SME manufacturers can guard against future disruption, which, let's be honest, we can't expect, right?
Yeah. If there's one thing that is certain is that there's going to be more uncertainty. And I think as a SME, where we've maybe during COVID had to sort of cut back with what we're doing, even if we've got people furloughed, So it's been a little case of all hands on deck. Everything's been a bit unprecedented, and so as an SME, you in the leadership team, you tend to just step in and take over, which isn't necessarily the way that things should be done, but when people are trying to work out what are we going to do, and actually you end up just getting more and more involved in stuff. And so I think the key now to get ourselves out of the mess, and the key for SMEs, is to take that step back again, get the teams doing what they need to be doing, get their teams to be doing what they're doing, and so that we can look at what's going on and think about how we can get back to improving the businesses, making the investments, looking at the strategy and seeing what's coming on the horizon.
Yeah.
So, which maybe we haven't had the time for doing because it has been all hands on deck.
Well, that pretty much brings our podcast episode to a close. This episode of a Manufacturer Podcast that has been brought to you live from the show floor at the NEC. Now all we've got left to do is party. Well, actually, no.
Well, Lana's going to be in bed, but in about 20 minutes by the looks of things. So.
Yeah, and actually I've got quite a lot to do before.
This episode's gone really fast.
That's what happens.
I know, but it just feels a bit sad because this is literally the first one that we've ever done like all together.
Well, what have you got any ideas to elongate it?
We are going to do another one from the pub on Monday.
True.
Indeed, we are.
True.
From Wimbledon.
Keep a lookout for that. Yeah.
True.
Everyone in the office.
That should be interesting.
Yep. I'm going to try and see if Uncle Bulgaria can come along.
I mean, if you have.
Orinoco. What's his name?
Orinoco,
yeah. She has got absolutely no idea what we're talking about.
No? You know who Uncle Bulgaria is?
No.
One of the Wombles.
I do actually know the Wombles, but I don't know
You don't know my name?
No. Do you know? Can you name more?
They collected rubbish, didn't they?
Sorry?
They just went around collecting
Was that
rubbish.
their thing? Was that their superpower?
Yeah.
But can you name a few more?
I don't think there was that many, right?
No, it wasn't that many.
Don't know.
Tomamore. He was one, wasn't he?
Sounds like a whiskey.
I think it is a whiskey, but I think he was also a Womble.
D'Artagnan. No, he was a Ninja Turtle.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
He was a musketeer.
Yeah, he's both. He was a musketeer and a. Is that right?
The Ninja Turtles were all Italian painters, weren't they? Like Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and
he was
Raphael. God, that makes me
Sorry,
sound geeky.
but why is Womble such a funny word? Like when you say it, I can't help but want to just laugh.
It's weird. Some words just make you laugh, don't they? My dad thinks trousers is hilarious.
Well, as a word?
As a word,
it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No trousers is funny.
No trousers is funny. But and doing, when it's written down, always looks like doing.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's easy. Probably. I mean, if you rearranged a one letter, then it would be doing, wouldn't it? I like the word monorail. I like
better than walking.
Blancmange, I think, is good.
Yeah.
Anything NGE is always good.
Womble is also the second part of one of my most favouriteest insults. Cockwomble.
Yeah.
Can you say that on the podcast?
Well, I just did.
Oh, okay, fine.
I don't care.
Yeah. An insult that we're sort of bringing back with our group, which is kind of, it was big in the 80s and then it sort of died off, but we're kind of bringing it back. Bozo.
Yeah.
I miss Bozo.
Yeah. Anyway, look, I'm sorry, we're going to have to end it here, Lana. I know you want more.
Yeah.
But you can see more because we're going to turn the cameras on again for our next episode of a Manufacturer Podcast, where you can see more of the show insights that we've gathered here from Manufacturing and Engineering Week. A big thank you to our wonderful manufacturing and vendor communities for making this event what it is, the greatest show in UK manufacturing. I would have done this off an auto cue, right? But I'm having to read off my laptop because I smashed the auto cue on the floor.
Cockwomble.
You bozo.
A little bit. It wasn't my fault, right? The product was dross. Like, it was rubbish. I WhatsApped the guy. So this guy that sold it me for, or I don't know, someone from
down the pub.
It might as well have been.
Yeah.
But it was ordered by someone else from 19. I don't do that stuff. I'm the talent. I don't order my own equipment.
You're a diva.
It's on your rider.
Yeah, exactly.
along with the all green M&Ms.
Anyway, I WhatsApp him, and I was like, look, this product is pretty rubbish, to be honest. It's just fallen off the end of a camera and smashed on the floor. Like, it snapped. Like a bit of plastic snapped. I was like, this isn't acceptable, Clive. And he just messaged back saying, sorry, you're disappointed. And I haven't had the heart to go back to him. Yeah. Wow. Poor Clive.
I'm glad you broke it though, and not me.
It was awful. It's obviously like a mirror.
Yeah.
Was it
auto
expensive?
cue.
Really?
100 odd quid, 150 quid.
Well, enough.
Enough, man. I better get that refund, right? Anyway, we hope you've had a fantastic M&E week, and we look forward to seeing you at future events like M&E Week 2024, perhaps. But until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Stay safe. Watch out for marauding terrorist weapons attacks.
Bye.